because I just got the idea to actually. Okay, so the first world record was Ninja Nass of 7:45. I don't know what the actual time is, because this time is actually like a 7:46 or something like that. If you do frame count and stuff like that, with the actual timing method, this does have, for some reason, 7 likes on YouTube. I don't know how. That's a good time. So start. So yeah, it does pretty much everything the same. He doesn't do this skip, of course, because I don't think that was discovered yet, or it was but wasn't publicized. He did this very safe, but still pretty clean. Going into Act 1, does this skip first try. He does his own setup. It's not faster. Jumps over here, does the strat that I mentioned in my tutorial. Watch my incredible 1207? No. Sure, might as well. And so, yep, finishes Act 1. Act 2, that's a 19, that's not bad. That's only like, what, 8 seconds off the world record. So Act 2, going in, everything seems fine. He goes underneath, he doesn't do the strat, obviously. He clips through that corner, almost dies, but he does save time. So we did know about corner clips back then. He is going to skip that one. So corner clips were a thing. He's going to spend a little time on there. He doesn't have splits, which is funny enough. I don't know why he doesn't have splits. But even Hollis Nicole didn't have splits, and neither did Rec. I was the first world record that had splits for some reason. So jumps into the portals, going into Act 3, and he's going to do, not do bound storage, because bound storage wasn't a thing. But what he is going to do is also lose time. So he's going to wait. He's going to wait some more. He's going to run from it. He's going to do that jump, practically clipping through the buzzsaw. Whoops. Like, what the heck? Does that. Kind of does the basic strat. He jumps on that purple block, and that one, and that one. Yeah, it's Act 4. He does the same Act 4 skip, except he takes it safe, because again, we didn't know about the whole wobbling back and forth to land on the water. That wasn't discovered until about 4 months later. More on that in a second. Takes this pretty safe. Gets a 17 from the looks of it. That's not bad. Going into Act 5. Does everything pretty much the same. What he does here is he pushes a couple of the blocks. That's not really necessary. He goes in here. So far you can tell that this was a very underdeveloped run. This is a very clean run. He's not dying a whole lot. He's doing very basic strats. He even, since we didn't know about this before, he's going to, this is 1,000 views? Oh my gosh. He doesn't even do key skip. He doesn't do key skip, because, again, we didn't know about it until much later. Like, this, I think, was, oh, he almost died. I've actually never really seen this run before, and so right here, I've seen this before. This is complete bull. Now, I know he's playing off Congregate, so he's not playing the hacked version, but he basically did a wall jump off nothing. I know how it works. He's not cheating. Like, I know how it works, but still, like, in his mind, he must have been like, what the heck kind of luck was that? So Act 6, he does this kind of his own way. I don't know why he's going with the current, but never mind that. Pretty much everything is the same. He grabs the key. Nothing much different you can do here. He jumps over, because if you don't have enough momentum, you can't slide. If you're going too slow, you can't slide. You'll just crouch. So unless you have a specific amount, you'll be stuck there for a while. So he jumped. That's the smart thing to do if you can't get enough momentum. He dies here. I know this. Yeah, he gets squished. That happens a lot. So he's gonna just jump up here. Everything's pretty much the same. But he died a second time. Wait, what was his second death? Oh, I skipped it. Yeah, never mind. So he's gonna jump up here. He handles this basically the same as I do, minus the fact that you can just stop it right here and then jump for it. 48, that's not bad. 48 with 2 deaths at least. So going into Act 7, obviously we didn't know about bounce storage. He kind of waited there, and he waited here again, basically just ignoring the poles altogether. What a boss. He pauses there for a sec. Did he pause there for a second? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, he does. That's weird. I don't know why he does that. But he kind of does his own little setup and dies. He's gonna die again. It's the whole Vex Act 7 Buzzsaw 3 Link Triforce chain reaction where when you die there once, you're gonna rush in and die again. He got lucky because he doesn't know the cycles, so. I hear there is a new community around. How good to see the classic lives on. Hey, what's up, Mingle? So I just did a tutorial run, showing everyone the strats and all that. Yeah, you should definitely check out the Discord. Mingle was one of the very first Vex runners that ever played this game, along with Rek and Lupus. He has a 6:59. It's a pretty good time. Welcome, Mingle. Series and Twitch Prime as well. We're going over the world record history. We're going to give Rek here a little moment of sunlight. And finishes the level basically the same. You know, Act 8. Everything's pretty much the same. Except he runs backwards. He's obviously playing this much more safe. You know, still kind of rides along the platform. And he dies. I don't know why that happened, but he does. Just talked to Rek the other day, haha, history lesson. Yeah, this is Vex history class. We got done with Vex science, and we're going to do Vex history. So, you can see this is obviously starting to fall apart. You know, the very first of this went very clean, but he's just going to die. And, you know, I think everyone has died on that at one point. You know, just foolishly ran into that. So yeah, kind of doesn't know about that strat. Oh, he's going to fail on this wall. Now, this wall right here, I'm going to go over in a second, and his game paused for a minute. But this wall right here is very weird. There's three factors. There is, you know, the browser you're using, the options, how high the quality is, the timing, the browser. It can definitely screw up your runs if you don't have the right settings in. If you use the right website and browser for your computer, it's fine. For credits, he does the skip, because we knew about the skip. You know, he doesn't do the zip. Instead, he dies. Okay, he does do the zip, but again, we knew that that was possible, but we didn't know how to actually do it without dying. Because we've always known that that was there. You know, you can go crazy fast. But, you know, at the time we didn't know a consistent way of doing it without dying until much later. He misses the checkpoint, and by miss he just didn't grab it because, you know, Ninja Nass is a boss. That wall does kill a majority. You still have nightmares, well, me too. And he stops his time very late, very differently. So that was that. Thankfully these will now be quicker because... So next was... So, about a couple months later, next year in fact, Hollis Nicole came by and took off about half a minute off with a 714. I'm not going to look at this one in really further detail. I'm just going to scan over it real quickly. But I like it very funny that she said, I believe it's a she, I still could have saved around 5 seconds. Can we all laugh in the chat for a bit? No, I'm just joking. No, you can save much more than 5 seconds. Again, not using splits, because why would you? Basically everything's the same. She is going to do this skip, I believe. I think she was the first one to come up with the skip, or publicize it. So yeah, basically 23 is basically just like the clean, normal, you know, the standard. She misses this a couple times, or one time. And then she found this right here. Again, Rek found this, you know, I'd imagine way before, but wasn't apparent. Everything's basically the same, kind of clips through that. This probably was a bit cleaner as well. And it was a pretty good time. Thank you, Creep, for the lol. Definitely needed that. Let's all laugh at the former world record holder, who actually, it took me a long time to beat this person. And when I did, I'd realize that Nope, Rex still has the world record. Kind of does this, fairly clean. She still has to wait because again, we don't know much about the cycles. She dies here, of course. Takes that safe. This is basically the same. This practically the same. She does, doesn't do key skip, but she doesn't have. Oh, she does die though. That's fair. This is fairly good. Yada yada yada. She jumps over. She dies. Same strats. As you can see, this is just cleaner play, less deaths, especially in the later sections. She uses the pull here. She does a different strat. I'll show the whole thing. That's not faster, but who was the first one to do key skip? That was Rek. His run is actually right after this because he was the third person to get the world record. So yeah, just fairly clean play. I'm gonna be skipping most of this, yada yada yada. Basically, just picture Ninja Nasa's run with less deaths, and since they both played on Congregate, the wall is gonna give them trouble. It's mostly Congregate, but credits, little optimization there. Did a different kind of setup. Did a zip, but obviously, if she would have continued, she would have died. Grab both checkpoints, and then victory. So that's that. So next, about a month later, in fact, a little bit less than a month later, Rek comes in from the channel Rek and Null and chops nearly an entire minute off. Now, I remember when I first discovered this video, and this wasn't added until 2017 of December or January, I think. At the time, I was hanging around like a really high 6-minute time or a very low 7-minute time, and then I discovered this and was just freaking. I was just destroyed. Like when I saw this, I went insane. I'm not joking. Like I literally out loud said, "What the heck?" And people around me were like, "Chris, what are you watching?" I'm like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it." So we're going to watch that, and I'm not going to watch it in its entirety, but I am going to show off all the skips that he does. If I can find him, he's still 4th place. He's really good. Yeah, the legend. He is absolutely the legend. And he doesn't have even a timer. He does not have a timer. So he does all that script way more than 20 minutes. He says in his video that he's played for about 20 hours of X, which is fair. He does that jump. I don't know if it saves time. I don't think it does. He does this skip. He dies here. That was intentional. He's going to clip through this, kind of like how I did. Act 2, he's basically going to do. He goes way too fast. He's too quick, so he dies. But 33, still good. So here's bounce storage, the first instance of bounce storage. Watch it in all of its glory. So he's actually losing a second, a real life second, because of the because he had to wait for everything to kind of pause for a second. So he's gonna get he's gonna get a good in-game time, but his out-game time is gonna be, that was really good. He's freaking out in the background if you want to hear his audio. It's hard to hear, so I'm not gonna actually have it. So he does that. That was the first instance, I'll go back to it, of the waddle mechanic. We still don't have a name for it. That was very good. So yeah, and he does the kind of walking forward. Gets 13. That was actually the first 13 ever. Wow. That's pretty good. Act 5. Everything's basically the same. Kind of does this maneuvering pretty good. Again, he does that jump instead, doesn't really save time, and then he does key skip, or attempts it. He does it second try, it's not bad. So yeah, very clean, very good. Act 6, everything's basically the same. Nothing's really changed except, he doesn't push all the way, does the brush up block. That's that. everyone go subscribe to Rec and Knoll. They are actually very funny. And their Vex run is fantastic. I've even liked it. So he does this. I don't know why he does this. It's not necessary. He does the setup. That was the setup I used for a long time. And then he does this jump. None of this stuff saves time, but for its time it absolutely did. He fumbles a bit. So yeah. Act 8, you know, pretty good. He didn't know about the, the quick snap to the right. So, now credits. He died here on credits. First, he missed the skip because he jumped way too soon. And so, at the time, when this run was first made, he died twice actually. Some guy named Lupus333, who discovered a lot of these strats with Rec, he had a 635, which is the unofficial world record. Now, Lupus has no evidence of actually playing this game. You can't find any of his videos. He doesn't have any videos. So, there you go, that's the end. But Lupus and Rec were pretty much half of the foundation of the entirety of it. And so, other people joined. I joined, Foreignid joined, some other runners played, but they can never beat this time until about a year later. I think we all know who this guy is. In February of 11th, 2017, Daedalus comes into the picture. And I have to actually... I'm not going to watch the video, because it's basically the same... Actually, no, it's not. Where's Vex? Where is Vex? Here it is. So that was exactly 1 year ago. It says 519 views. Who watches this stuff? Okay. So my audio is pretty messed up because of the capture I was using. It was weird. Basically everything's the same. I got a 22 because, I did this. That was the first instance of the waddle mechanic used on tutorial, because I discovered in Rec's video and said, wow, okay, this can be useful in other places. I don't do the skip. I don't remember when I discovered that skip, but I don't do it, so that's fine. But I do still kind of do it semi-optimal, so that's always good. So here's the, I do the safe strat. Again, I don't have splits. Every timer is on my phone, actually. So yeah, Act 2 is a 28. 28 is pretty good. So right here, I don't do storage bounce, and the reason because of it is because I knew it lost a second. So I just played everything perfect without bounce storage. And the reason I didn't use bounce storage is because of the time loss. I actually didn't start using it until I've actually found out, how much time it actually saves. So that's a 24. 23 is definitely possible if you do it fast enough. Act 4 is basically the same, except I died here. I lost a bit of time. But 14's not bad. Act 5, basically the same stuff. Let's see, do I get this first try? I do not. Second try is fine. Act 6. I slide, go into there, just fine. Oh, so right here is kind of another safe strat. If you don't do the storage bounce, you can still do this just perfectly fine. Yada yada, everything's basically the same. I died here because I'm really bad at Vex. I'm not good at this game, believe it or not. I still use the same website though, Yeppy 2015. I've used it ever since. This is fairly slow. I think I'm going to get like a 35? No, 36, 37 more like it. And the wall almost screwed me over there because my settings, I think I put them on low. So I died here once. He died there twice, so I had the upper advantage and I finished the level. Now I'm not going to go over everything because, then I got 610, 608, 557. This video doesn't even exist, so I'm going to go straight to 550. And the reason is because that's, I think, when new strats were made. 557 doesn't exist. And the 608 and 610 are basically the same thing. So yeah, nothing really different. That was a 21. That was the, I think, first 21 maybe. And the first time I'm actually using splits. I messed up there because I'm not good at this game. I did a skip, and as you can see, I didn't know about corner clipping. Everyone else did. I didn't, because I'm really bad at this game. Also, I have a different setup, for everything. And I think, I did do it. Yep. This is the good cycle of Act 2. And that's amazing. And so yeah, I just checked my phone real quick. So Act 3 coming up here. I think this is, I don't know, I don't remember if I used bounce storage. I don't. Yeah, I don't use bounce storage until much later, until the strat's discovered. But I don't think that was a thing until sub. I took it safe. Yeah, 23. So actually the guy who has, so his video, some guy posted a 23-second video of this. Basically what it was Act 3 IL no reset world record. Well, actually it's tied because I got that a long time ago, but I don't know why he keeps track of that. It's funny. Did the method, did everything else pretty well. Got a 14. 14's decent. So I think this was the very first usage. Nope, it was not. I lied. Did key skip. Act 6. I did key skip first try because I got a 30 and did not do the other method. Yeah. Everything else is just, fairly clean. 34 is not bad. That's really good, actually. Here's Act 7. Again, storage bounce. I mean, we knew about storage bounce, but I didn't really use all the possibilities. Everything else is here is fairly clean. So yeah, as you can see, I'm pretty far ahead. But I'm gonna, choke it all away here because of this stupid wall. I kind of freaked out, like, oh crap, what do I do? Oh no. And so yeah. So I lost about, 0.7 seconds. Again, I didn't really, took it very safe. And then in the end it was, I did frame count. It wasn't sub 550. Because, I mean, who needs sub 550s? So then later I dropped it down to, so actually funny enough, after the 550 I was kind of done for a while. I wasn't exactly doing runs. I kind of said I was done. I kind of moved on to Vex 2 and Vex 3, lasting, stuff like that. I wanted to see if someone could beat this. This run was really good, but it had potential for a lot of improvement. And I think 3 people were trying to go for it. I know Lupus was secretly going for it. Lupus said he wasn't, but he secretly was. Mingle was attempting at a grind to try and get there eventually, like he said. And even Foreignid was coming back to do runs and to, kind of get the world record. Because I said I was done, and I was. And about a couple weeks later, 3 weeks later, I didn't really see much improvement. Lupus wasn't going for it. Mingle was really far behind. Foreignid was barely doing runs, so I thought, screw it, I'll do it. And I got a 5:37. This was a very, clean run, obviously. I'm going to skip most of these. This was very clean. My splits, I don't know how to format well, so I'm sorry. But it has a dislike. I don't know how. This was literally like the biggest chunk ever taken off of time. But yeah, everything else is fairly the same. Wow, this game had competition once. Shut up, creep. Yeah, it did, believe it or not. And so, 24, and so I didn't use bounce storage. Still, like, you would think something so trivial and so easy, especially doing my strats, I would use it eventually, but I'm surprised I did not use it yet. 23, Act 4, everything's pretty much the same, honestly. Like, as you can see, I'm only like 2 seconds ahead. But this was also the first usage of the spike jump in Act 5. Yeah, it didn't really save much time. And the first attempt, Act 5, I think was a 27. Creep, you're now your competition. Yeah, he is. Well, Creep said he's not really going for it. But he should. He can quite get. I mean, it's up to him. I mean, if he wants to move on to something else, you know. I mean, that world record's not moving. There's no way I'm gonna move it down anytime soon. Especially since I'm going very easy on it, and like even school for me is starting out not going for it right now. That's what Lupus said, and he was secretly going for it. I don't trust creep. Everything, you know, very clean. That was a 34 again. I didn't know the potential. No bounce storage. Everything was basically the same. Act 8, just cleaner. 33, that's fairly good. 32 is the best, but as you see, I golden that split and got, you know, a really good time. Um, you know, did everything basically the same. Oh, except I lost a cycle here. I took it safe. I lost about 1.7 seconds and got 537. That's probably one of the biggest chunks ever taken off of a PB for Vex of mine, that is. I'm not going to view all these runs. I'm not. You know, I got like, you know, later I got, you know, 535, 532, and then another 532. No, I didn't. And then got, you know, 528, the first sub 530. And then, so I got this thinking, okay, I'm done, right? You know, that was kind of my goal when I said I'm going to take a break. And so at the time, I was doing Vex all categories. Doing Vex trilogy all categories, which is basically Vex any percent, Vex 2 any percent, low percent all stars, 96%, Vex 3 any percent all stars, and 98%. And I accidentally beat my time and got a 527, so that was really cool. And then I was done. I was like saying I'm not really going back to it until I know that sub 20 is doable, which exactly I discovered some things and then kind of got back to doing it again. I got a 523.9. That's the next one we'll be looking at. I'm not going to look at the 526 because it's not much of an improvement. So yeah, everything's the same. Like, tutorial's the same, Act 1 is the same, except I do something different. The skip I actually do is the new strat, or the new take on the skip. It's not exactly a strat. So I think this is not the first instance, but it definitely was one of them, of bounce storage, and of me fully using the strat. That was one of the hardest strats. Now I can do it no problem. I should probably be reviewing this thing in full. So yeah, I got a 15. 15's really good. Did that, you know, 13, Act 5. Basically the same, got a 26. If you want to watch all the individual runs, you can. There's a lot of cool tension in between it. You know, did that strat. Okay, so there's something I need to explain. Again, the first instance of me swinging backwards for a bit to gain a bit more time, not very much. Corner clip right here, brush up against the block to get a very early cycle and get a 31. Act 7 again had bounce storage, as you'll see. This I think was one of the first instances of bounce storage. I think I used this in my 528 or 527. One of my 5-minute runs, like 530 something, did that. This was actually not that recent. Messed up a bit here, because, you know, I had to wait. Didn't do such good of a job. I kind of lost a bit of time. Took it a bit more safe. But I lost about 2 seconds, which is fine. Act 8. Act 8 was, you know, fairly clean. I gained some time, of course. Did I? I did. Even though I messed up on Act 8, because I died twice, very quickly, I still saved enough time. And so, I thought, okay, well, this will be PB, again, with the zip. And so, PB, not by much, though. And then, obviously, I came back with, you know, later, much later in that case. I went back again, saved 0.7 seconds. It wasn't good, and then I finally finished it off with the 518, which has everything. Again, I'm going to skip most of it because, like I said, you know, I died here. I always kept dying there. Everything was basically the same. I'm gonna skip to like a point where something actually different happens. So yeah, 518. Every strat's basically the same except done perfectly, except for Act 7 and now Act 8. Even credits was a bit slow. Like I could do credits faster, and I can do Act 5 a bit faster. But doing a faster Act 5 is insane. There's not like a huge noticeable difference. It's like maybe 0.10 seconds. But yeah, bounce storage. So right here, you know, this is where the improvement comes in. Okay, I took this safe because I was nervous and was not doing good, and as you can see, I only gain no time. I could have gained a full second. You can save a full second on that and get a 36. I didn't, but I was still on a good pace. Act 8 was fairly clean, and so that zip was really good. And I struggle a bit to get out of the water. That's where you can also save time. Got an 18. I think I was a frame away from a 17. Let's see. I'm actually pretty curious how far I was. So 17 is going to pop up right there. Yeah, like the frame after, or 1 or 2 frames after it switched. You keep messing up on Act 7. That's a shame. So yeah, that is the world record history. Now let's talk about tutorial. No, I'm just joking. There's only 90%. So yeah, Ninja Ness, then Hollis Nicole, then Wreck, and I kind of took it as far as I could. This is a good stopping point. Right here, this spot right here is for creep. I'm just joking. It's for anyone who wants to take that time. You definitely can. It's very possible. So unless there are requests for me to do Vex 2 or Vex 3, I'm going to end the stream in a bit. For me, yeah. Exactly. Vex 2. I'll go back to Vex 2 then. You want to do Vex 2? Okay, I'll do Vex 2. I'm not going to look over the video. Okay. I don't know if I should. Bet you won't teach me how to get sub 7. You're right, I'm not going to teach you how to do Act 7. Alright, we'll do Vex 2.